I feel like he probably would have thought like that's gonna continue to be Shell thing, and maybe I'll pop in on a video or two, you know, if she asked me to. But now he's like, hey everybody, Aaron here, and I'm like, not you having your own little personality and taking over.
And I was like, not you prophesying over me.
Right. Ooh. Yeah, and I think even
I'm excited too, like for kids. I think we're gonna be great parents.
Yeah, which is like a whole different transition. We've literally in our relationship gone from like not wanting kids to desiring to have kids to desiring to have like multiple children to Aaron like being super freaked out about it to now him actually like being excited. And it's becoming, I feel like, so much more a part of our conversations that we have. And I think that's another way that you can tell that God is like preparing our hearts, because we talk about it a lot in the sense of just like what we imagine that time being like and what the struggles may be, the things that we enjoy,
what
and
sports
like
they want to play,
yeah,
how we're going to discipline them,
or how we think their personalities are going to be and who they're going to take after in different areas. So it's just cool to dream about those things. And even I don't know. Oh, that was me.
Yep. It was me. It's always me.
All right, we're looking in the lens. Out of our films.
I'll try.
I'm saying this to even remind myself because it's been so long.
I'm so dang handsome. It's hard. It's hard.
You ready?
Yep.
What's up, beautiful people? Shell
and Aaron
here, and we are back with another video. It's been a while. It's been a while since we sat down like this to do y'all a video. We've been on our vlog kick, which has been really good. She didn't even tell me
about this. It just surprised me.
Because Aaron started to get in his head and all the things, and I'm like, nope, we're doing a video, let's go. And he's like, thanks for preparing me. I'm like, sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches.
But we're here. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year 2024. It's been off to a really good start for us.
It's been good, but it's been tough.
Yeah.
Lots of tests. I told Shell 2024 is going to be filled with lots of tests and lots of blessings. Because like I definitely see the opportunity. God be testing me a lot in a lot of different areas. So it's like he's providing opportunities for me to capitalize and to be a good steward in the ways I go about things. And then, you know, that's when the blessings come be poured out. So we're fasting right now too, and that's been been tough, y'all. But I can tell you, I wanted to say I love fasting, but it's like I love the results that come from fasting, because nobody loves fasting. Nobody loves doing those hard things. It's kind of like Adult and Teen Challenge. I'm going to talk there in a couple weeks, and I was like thinking of how I could introduce myself, and I'm just like thinking, you know what, I used to sit in the same seats as you guys, and it was horrible. It was one of the worst things ever, but it was also the best decision I ever made. It transformed my life and changed my life. And it's kind of like the same thing with fasting, you know. It's really hard and it sucks, but when you start seeing the changes that start to happen in your own personal life, and like the discipline that starts being instilled, and just the ways that you're able to really, like, every morning I wake up and do my quiet time and just focus on the Lord. It's been pretty productive. It's pretty good.
Yeah, fasting is cool because like during the time that you're fasting, you're so much more alert because you're hungry, and then you're reminded why you're hungry. And then like it's like, if I'm gonna go through all the trouble of fasting, let me at least like press in, so I'm just not starving myself for nothing. So I'm fasting. So we started out the year on a fast, so we were both fasting alcohol to start. And then when our church started their 21-day fast, we did a couple different amendments to kind of join in with that. For me, I'm fasting till 3 every day in addition to fasting alcohol. And Aaron is
fasting after 3, because my job's like physically demanding, and so I have to eat in order to function at work. So
yeah,
after 3, and I've been seeing some pretty good results. You know, the stomach's been getting flat from no beer, and I think that the not eating at night has definitely been open too. But I like what Shell said about being alert, because that's been like one thing I've been praying for during the fast, you know, that I can definitely see a huge difference in, is like seeing things with spiritual eyes, you know, seeing things the way God intended us to see things. And I think a lot of times we get so caught up in life. That's why it's good to always like come back, you know, to do a fast every now and then, just to kind of resituate yourself spiritually and mentally. But we can get so caught up in everyday life that, you know, we're not seeing things the way we need to see them. We're not seeing things as opportunities that's provided by God. Or we're not seeing things like, hey, this opened the door for this to happen. You know what I mean? We kind of just get all jumbled up and stressed out. So I definitely like what you said about that, being alert, just seeing things through spiritual lens.
Yeah. So before the new year, or to bring in the new year, something that we did on December 31st was we sat down.
You want to show them our board?
I mean, I don't think nothing special about it. We just have a board and we put words on the board. So as I was trying to say, we sat down that night and we came up with words for the year and different prayer requests for the year. And we, well, at the time wrote them out, and then I typed them out and I put them on our prayer board, and then we have an answered prayers board as well. And so it's always cool, like looking at the answered prayers board and being reminded of ways that the Lord came through when it's easy to forget. So some of the things on our board this year:
focus and simplicity. I've been kind of like pairing those together, praying that God helps me to focus on simplicity, you know. And basic for me, it's more just like God loves me, God saved me, He wants me to love others the way He has loved me.
Yeah. We have babies on the prayer board for 2024. We have goals around our businesses and the ministry, what I want to see happen in life coaching, what he wants to see happen in his lawn care business. What else?
Well, I remember all the words. So what else? Steadfast and discipline. So yes. Just remaining steadfast, you know, in our faith in the Lord. And that was another one, faith. Steadfast and faith. I kind of been pairing those together to help me just to remain faithful, because you know God is always faithful to us. It's we're the ones that aren't always faithful to Him, but being steadfast in that, discipline and what was it? Intimacy. Because I was thinking of intimacy. I was like, man, because we were thinking about babies and stuff, and I was like, man, I think a lot of people think when they think intimacy, they think like sex, or like they sexualize the word. But I was looking up the definition, and it means a closeness. So like intimacy with God, you know, that me and Him can get closer together in our relationship, but intimacy with me and Shell as well, that we can bond and go closer together in our relationship. Just knowing one another better.
Yeah, I think overall for both of us this year, this is a year that we're not really like, this may sound bad, but I don't mean it bad, but it's like we're not really expecting God to do much, you know, not in a bad sense, but just in the sense of like we really feel like this year we're being called to really be consistent and steward well what He's already done. Because it can be so easy with each new year, you start to think about all the ways that you want to see your life be different. And we've done some of that. Like we do desire to have children and we want to see that happen. We do desire to see our businesses and ministry grow. So it's not to say that our desires are void of God doing anything new, but in terms of like what we're focusing on this year is not really like focusing on seeing God do a huge miracle in all of these areas. Is really just about like we want to be partnering with God in our own lives this year to steward well and to remain consistent, as opposed to like always looking for the next thing. And I think part of that for me is that like so much happened with us so fast. You can go back and check out our testimonies and our stories and just how everything came together for that. Some of our, I don't think we actually, maybe we should put up the wedding video. We didn't do that, like the videographer that we had do it. But we didn't like everything moved so fast within that time. So the last year, just like a lot has been happening, good things, but it's been a lot. So this year just kind of feels like all right, let's just keep things steady. Let's just be consistent.
Well, I like what you said. I mean, I think also like, for me, focusing, on what God has already given us instead of like looking for more and new and better, like saying like, okay, man, God, you did so much last year in 2023. Like you've given us all these new things. So like now I want to be a good steward and start to build on those things that you've provided. I think sometimes we can get caught up looking down stream, where we want to be 5-10 years from now or so, that we're not focused on what God has given us in the current moment. So that I think for me, really just wanted to be a good steward, really just wanted to make, I keep thinking of the parable of the talents, God gave me something and I don't want to squander it. I want it to grow and I want it to blossom, and I just want to be able to be faithful in doing that.
Mm-hmm. I think physical fitness, that's something that's really on our radar this year. And then tapping in more with I don't know if we actually talked about this, but I know for me, something that I've been mentioning that's been on my heart is just like tapping back in more with our families, and just like spending more time with them in settings that we enjoy and whatnot. So looking forward to that. What you about to say?
I don't know. I wanted to tell him about the bet that we made the other day, so I was excited. Oh. Shell. So I've been trying to get Shell to let us get a puppy since like we've been together. She's allergic to dogs, and I like big dogs. If I can't have a big dog, I get a little itty bitty dog. So I want to get like a little like Yorkie poo or something, like something hypoallergenic. And Shell made a deal with me the other day. I was like, man, I don't think it's gonna happen. But she's like, if we don't get pregnant by summer, she's like, I'll consider it. So hey, it's in the cards. We'll see. But I don't think. So,
Lord, do you want us to have a baby, or do you want us to have a puppy right now?
I mean, people have been talking. Like this girl at my work, she's pregnant with twins right now, and she was like, "Yep, you're coming next in February. In February, your girl's gonna be pregnant." And I was like, "Not you prophesying over me."
Right. Ooh. Yeah, and I think even
I'm excited too, like for kids. I think we're gonna be great parents.
Yeah, which is like a whole different transition. We've literally in our relationship gone from like not wanting kids to desiring to have kids to desiring to have like multiple children to Aaron like being super freaked out about it to now him actually like being excited. And it's becoming, I feel like, so much more a part of our conversations that we have. And I think that's another way that you can tell that God is like preparing our hearts, because we talk about it a lot in the sense of just like what we imagine that time being like and what the struggles may be, the things that we enjoy,
what
and
sports
like
they want to play,
yeah,
how we're going to discipline them,
or how we think their personalities are going to be and who they're going to take after in different areas. So it's just cool to dream about those things, and even embracing like we understand that it's probably gonna be like the most hectic time of our lives, but like we also feel like we can make it fun. And I don't know, I feel like it can probably sound naive to say that, because people are like, yeah, that's cute, and we get a lot of that, right? But I also just think like that's kind of just our vibe, is making things fun. So I'm just like, yeah, I just envision us being able to go about it in a way that like we can learn to enjoy it based on how our dynamic is already set up.
Yep. I've been preparing myself watching this new TV show. It's pretty great. Y'all should check it out. It's called
New to him, This Is Us.
Yeah, This Is Us. I was like, dang, babe, that's us. We're having triplets. And they got a house full of kids and like going crazy. I was like, oh man, hopefully I'm gonna have to call my mom and her mom and get our whole family down here if we having that many babies at once.
Yeah, and it'll also, I think, just be cool to see like what building relationships with other people in that season look like, as opposed to like this season with no kids, and the way that we can just kind of pick up and go and do our own thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a way different dynamic. I'm learning now, like it's my single friends, that ones that are single, they have no idea what it's like to be married. So it's like you know, I have to set boundaries of the things that they expect and the things I expect and how we can go about it. And the same thing with being married and having kids, you know, because Shell's got friends with kids and stuff, and they're talking about stuff that I'm not even, it's not registering in my brain. You know, it's not making sense to me because we don't have kids. But then I'm starting to think like, oh, okay, like starting to put myself in those same shoes just because friends, you know, single friends, married friends, friends with kids, the dynamics all just like completely different.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think even when it comes to creating content, we both really foresee us being able to like also make that a family thing and whatnot. So
Y'all, if you ever come to Memphis, Jim Neely's Interstate Barbecue. Just got back from there. It's on point.
So yeah, and then I think in the beginning of the video you mentioned like it's been a good year, but it's been filled with tests.
Y'all, don't even get me started. The other day I didn't even get to, I mean, I got woke up at midnight. I had to go out and I let Shell sleep because I knew I had to make some pretty hard decisions and do some things that she probably wouldn't have wanted to do. Long story short, you know, I had to go pick some people up, take them some places, and go repair a toilet that flooded the house at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so the backstory to that is we run a transitional housing facility here in Memphis, specifically for men that are coming out of recovery.
It's a nice big old house. It's like 4,000 square foot. It sleeps like 10 guys.
Yeah, and so already this year, that has been presenting some very unique challenges that I've just been like, bruh, about this right here. And as I was praying about it.
This allowed me to step up though. Like,
yeah, I was praying about it one morning this week around some things that were going on, and then I was reminded that we were fasting, and so I was just like, okay, God, help me to see what's going on here. Like, I know that I was looking at it with very natural eyes and from an emotional perspective of like, this is not what's up. This is not, you know, how I want to be spending my time, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm like, okay, we're fasting. So if I start to look at this with my spiritual eyes, like, is this Satan attacking the very thing that we're called to? And do we just need to, because I was praying about that one day when we went out to the house to take some cleaning supplies and stuff. I was like, man, God, help us to keep servants' hearts. Like, even when you think about serving that population, it can be easy to feel like we are the gift to them because we have the thing that they need. But I was like, I pray that Aaron and I can just keep at the forefront of our minds that like, this is truly a real opportunity to be the hands and feet of Jesus, to help people see and experience him in literal and physical ways that they really need, and help us to keep that heart even when we're annoyed and we're inconvenienced and all of the things. Help us to really just like take delight in being able to serve men and women and be representation of your kingdom, because it can be quick.
It's a struggle,
especially when it ain't a money maker.
I'm like, look, I'm tired of having to come on and be y'all savior. You need to start making smarter decisions. But that's the thing I've been learning this week is like, not everybody, that's the whole reason they're living in that house, you know, is because they don't think the same ways that me and Shell think about things. And so that, yeah, it's been stressful, but it's also been good. Definitely sharpening me with my temper. It's been, and I ain't been perfect, y'all, but, you know, I'm working on it.
Yeah, I feel like all the time situations like that, when you're inconvenienced and all those things, it just also exposes, you know.
Like getting a phone call in the middle of the day at work, or getting these texts, you know, like, hey, something at the house just broke and everything's going crazy and I need to be over there to fix it. It's like I can't be there in that moment. So learning how to just like accept things and kind of push them to the side until I can deal with them. Because I kind of tend to like want to deal with things immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like something's going on, it needs to be dealt with, it needs to be fixed right now. So kind of like helping me have a little patience by like pushing those things on the back burner. Like, hey, this isn't actually that important. You know, I can get to it when I can get to it. So that's been pretty cool too. Lots of sharpening, y'all. Lots of sharpening this year.
Yeah. And then I would also say for me, making like very unexpected decisions around things that like I just didn't expect that has come out during fasting. Well, I don't want to talk about it now because I'm praying about whether or not the Lord wants me to speak about it publicly. So even that, I would say, and it's literally like one day this, the next day that, like changes so fast. And in that though, even just as I think about like what I feel like is happening spiritually in 2024, I think God is doing a lot of cleanup, you know, in the kingdom in very public ways, but then also just in us individually, like, hey, tighten that up real quick. Like, you want to see this ministry grow and all of these things, like, tighten up, champ, because once I choose to elevate you or once I choose to use you in a certain capacity, like, I need to make sure your house is clean. And so that just is a good reminder of like what you signed up for when you answer a call, even to like ministry, you know, and committing to a platform like this where our lives are before you. And no, we can't in any way control, you know, what you all do, but we do control what we put out there as representations of the kingdom. And so it's made me like backtrack a little bit to be like, ooh, how bad did I want this exactly? Or why did I want this so bad? Because when you're not in any kind of public forum, even though you're always going to have accountability as a disciple, is not on the same level. That just is what it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I was going to say about the other stuff with me too. We can do that on another video.
What stuff?
The similar stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do that in another video.
Good stuff, y'all. It's juicy.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
You gotta subscribe to be sure you don't miss it. So yeah, there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about how no pruning or no discipline feels good at the time, you know, but we all know that it is good for you. The Bible also talks about how God disciplines those that he loves. And so it doesn't feel good in the moment because you're having to make sacrifices and you're having, or even when you think about exercising, something that, you know, like correlates to your world, it doesn't feel great trying to like get to another weight class or weight level.
Discipline sucks, but when you see the results, yeah, that's a whole, like, man.
That's good.
When you start seeing the results of the discipline, then it's like, oh man, I need to keep doing this. And it gets easier, I feel like, too.
Yeah.
Especially when you start seeing the results. Like, it makes it easier because you're getting more encouraged. And then you want to kind of dig in a little more, dig in a little deeper. That's what it's been doing for me. It's been really encouraging me, just seeing how easier things have been getting. Because the beginning of the fast, I was slipping inside and I was struggling real hard. But it's been getting easier. I can definitely tell it's been getting easier. I've been getting better, and yeah. Praise God. Praise Jesus. Glory, hallelujah, amen.
Yeah, I think one thing that's been admirable about you during the fast, as you mentioned, just like slipping and sliding, is like you do just keep going, as opposed to allowing it to be such a huge setback to be like, well, it's pointless now, because I think that's the way that Satan wants to come in and deceive. But it's like, when you fall, you can get back up. Like the Bible says that a righteous man falls 7 times, gets back up 8, you know, like it's not the falling that disqualifies you, it's the getting back up. Like, do you choose to get back up though?
I think through my falling, it definitely, like, I don't know, brought me closer with my relationship with God. Just, I'm not making excuses or anything, but just seeing, like, look, like, you're not perfect. Look, like, it's not going to be easy. But like Shell said, you know, it's not about the falling. It's about how you take it. Are you just, once you fall, you're going to keep falling, but, well, might as well just dive on in. You know, are you going to give up or are you going to keep going? And I think what's encouraging to me is, like, every time I slipped up, I would tell Shell and stuff, like, but then I kept going. You know what I'm saying? All right, well, I'm gonna keep going. Like, I'm not stopping. I'm not giving back in. I'm gonna keep going. And it's been getting better and better and easier. So just be encouraged, man. When you fall or when you stumble or when you go against, like, something that you're trying to do, just keep going. You know, what does Rocky say? It's not about how many times you get hit. It's about how many times you can get hit and get back up.
Yeah, that's so true. And like I said, even like biblical to some extent. So yeah, I think overall we have just been pretty steady. You know, like I feel like our pace has been going really good. We've been like really figuring out our own rhythms, or even just like last night I was on the phone with a friend praying, and we were on the phone for probably a little bit over an hour. And when I came back out though, Aaron was on the phone with my mom, just all like in the bed, laying all comfortable, just chatting with my mama. And before that, I heard him on the phone. I didn't know who it was, but turns out it was his brother. So even something like that, where like usually he would be waiting around for me to get off the phone and getting irritated, like, bruh, how long y'all need to pray? Y'all just saw each other, you know. And I think that could just be a thing for husbands. It's a man versus woman thing. But he, even in that sense, like he's learned to like, okay, like if Shell got something going on, I'm gonna utilize my time to like tap in the same way with some people. Or like this past week, every Thursday night I meet with women from my church that I'm part of a small group with. And it used to just be like Aaron just at home, maybe waiting for me to get home, or knowing that like I'm not gonna be home while he's still awake.
I'm getting friends, y'all.
But this week he like, and it wasn't even intentional, but we realized how it worked out well. Like this week he ended up going out with a friend on the same day, you know. So even just like
tonight.
Yeah. I have plans tonight, and then he has plans tonight. So just learning our rhythms even. But one thing that I love about A is that like he does a really good job of like protecting us as a unit, and that's an area that I've had to learn how to grow in, even from my last marriage, of really like prioritizing home first and then letting everything else come secondary. I feel like I used to be like so passionate about people and so passionate about ministry that it was to the detriment, because it could make everything else feel like it came second to that. But Aaron is gonna fight, baby. Aaron is gonna fight for Shell and A. Okay. But I've learned to really grow to appreciate that. Yeah. And to not, I used to get so annoyed and feel like it was such a burden of like, you know, like you always got something to say about when I want to do something, that kind of thing. But now I've grown to appreciate it, because it's like, even as we, you know, desire for businesses to grow and our ministry to grow, like demands in life are only going to increase. And so if we don't develop good rhythms now and a good foundation of prioritizing home, then that's going to stand a greater chance of being threatened as demands increase. But if we already have that foundation of like checking in with each other, checking with our schedules, being sure that we're getting our time before overcommitting to other things, then like we can grow healthy as our demands expand. So yeah. So I do know that our next video is probably going to be another vlog, because we spent some time in Chattanooga before we came back for
Shell was spontaneous. She did tell me about it. She did it all on her own.
Yeah, so we were supposed to do a different trip to Gatlinburg with his family, and that fell through. So I knew that he was disappointed, and because he had been really excited about the possibility. So I was like, let me try to find a more affordable option. Like Gatlinburg is a little bit more than we need to be spending right now. And so Chattanooga turned out to be a really good alternative. Like the Airbnb was cheap. It was still like they still had the types of activities that I know he would be interested in doing, and cute restaurants and stuff like that. And it was a simple drive. It wasn't going to add like too much time to the trip. All of those things mattered.
Hey y'all, Champy's Chicken.
Yeah, shout out to my cousin Kaylin for all of the recommendations that she gave us.
What was tell them your favorite thing. It's funny to me because it was one of the worst things. But
so we did 2 whiskey tastings while we were there.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
It was the worst whiskey. It was like, horrible.
Yeah, we were just like,
we couldn't even get through them all.
We are not about that life at all. But it was fun, and it was spontaneous, and like it was just about the experience, even though we didn't like the whiskey. And it was so funny because people was in there paying top dollar for whiskey. Like as they were getting rung up, you hear the totals, and it's like, y'all paying all of that for this? And I'm just like, our palate ain't there.
What got me was once we started trying it, I was like, I'm not getting it. This ain't making no sense to me. Y'all paying $60, $70 for a bottle of this? Ugh.
Right. And 2 times that in some cases. But yeah, but it was just fun to, y'all will see in the vlog all of the things that we did, so I won't go into it. But it was just fun. It was a really, really fun trip.
Chattanooga is a cool little place.
Yeah. And I guess we're learning that, like, traveling is definitely a part of our thing and what we like to do. We have good conversations in the car.
We share the driving because I'm not good at it.
Yeah. So it's fun. So stay tuned for that. And I don't know what we'll be sitting down and talking about. Maybe the transitional house, different things that the Lord has put on our hearts. But it's been nice as opposed to like trying to like
ask the people.
Yeah, let us know if you do have topics that you all are interested in hearing from us specifically, especially because we do have a lot more subscribers than we had even a year ago. So yeah, if y'all have topics that y'all are interested in, certainly drop those in the comments. But for us right now, the plan is to probably focus more on vlogging because that just like comes a little natural and it's easier for us. But
it's fun.
We'll
Shell says he's gonna give me a vlogging camera.
He kind of needs his own camera, which is so funny. Y'all go back and watch like some of the first episodes with Aaron, some of the first videos, and you'll be able to see the transformation. So it's cool to see him like finding his groove and the fact that like this was something that I was already into and it truly has like matched well for us, even though he probably would have never thought coming into I feel like he probably would have thought like that's gonna continue to be Shell thing and maybe I'll pop in on a video or two, you know, if she asked me to, but now he's like, hey everybody, Aaron here. And I'm like, not you having your own little personality and taking over, right? Like, yep. I told him, I feel like I'm your camera woman sometimes when we're vlogging and stuff. But yeah, so if y'all have topics y'all are interested in, letting us know. Otherwise, I think our content just will kind of continue to be inspired by what we have going on and up as we're inspired. You think?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, until next time, folks, we are out. Bye, y'all.